Joel, it's so great to see you again. It's so wonderful to talk about It's a Wonderful Knife. This was such a fun horror movie. I do have to ask, with the film being, an inspiration of the Jimmy Stewart classic, were you a fan of the original? Was that something you liked?
I've never seen it.
You've never seen it.
I don't know what you are referring.
You don't know.
I think it's Frank Capra's It's a Wonderful Life is one of the greatest movies ever made. And literally, and the film noir part when, the whole, that movie threads so many needles, and it's science fiction. On top of everything else. And so and Jimmy Stewart is one of the greatest movie stars of all time. That movie is literally perfect. And so why not add slashers? And why not add a faceless angel that shows up and kills people? It's a Wonderful Life. I think, when you watch movies from 15 or 20 years ago, they seem dated. And then there's certain movies like Back to the Future, which my boys watch, and they thread a interesting needle that they and that they go, doesn't seem old to us. And I feel like that way about It's a Wonderful Life. Of course, it's dated and in black and white and all that, but you don't think about those things. And then you watch other movies from that era, and you're like, oh, this seems weird, and I don't understand it. And anyway, that's a very long answer.
Yeah. And, the thing about It's a Wonderful Life, it is like the Twilight Zone. It is quite nightmarish, but it works really well, especially when you guys have adapted it with It's a Wonderful Knife. So are you a big fan of horror, though? I know you've done horror movies before. You did Deliver Us from Evil, where you were the cop with the backwards hat, like the hat you wore backwards everywhere.
Yes.
Yeah.
And my friends refer to that movie as Ghost Cops,
right.
Which was Deliver Us from Evil with the amazing Eric Bana. Directed by the amazing Scott Derrickson. And, I really do like horror. I like horror films, but I feel like they're kind of like, it's the same, like when people are like, I just love a genre. I love the genre, but if the movie's not good, then I don't like that movie. But so it's people like, oh, I like romantic comedies. I do too. I like good ones. So I'm just watching like Hereditary is one of the best horror films ever made. And then, there's ones that aren't scary at all. So anyway, that all said, if the script is good and, the director's good, then I don't care what genre it is, unless it's an adult film. So this, I read the script and I was like, oh, this is really good, and met the director, and he knows what he's doing. And obviously Jane Woodruff is terrific, and people like Justin Long are some of the best. He's extraordinary, and Jane really carries the movie. So anyway, that's a very long way of saying I do like horror, and I like being in it. I'm so happy that this tiny little movie is getting, like when we made it, it was a very small little movie. It was, obviously the horror holiday genre has really come into its own, and it's been around, for a while. And like Silent Night, Deadly Night back in the 80s. And now, now this is going to be a thing. This is going to be like holiday movies. It's going to be like this every year. Thank God. It's great.
Yeah. There are alternate realities in the movie. So as an actor, what's that like, navigating one side of a very loving patriarchal figure and then flipping that on its head to what we do see inevitably happen, which I won't spoil?
It's, I like that stuff because it's a challenge, and it's twists and turns, and the director really was able to set the tone. He, when we went to the reality, the noirish reality, the lighting was all, everything was wonderfully adjusted, and so I find that shit really fun. I like the challenge, and again, like Jane is such a good actor that it was easy to do, and there was some really great, it's an like comedy horror holiday, and then because it has to be funny, and you have to be scaring people at the same time. So it's kind of like a roller coaster. I mean, I know it's such a cliche, but it was like there's like roller coasters. You're screaming and laughing and having fun, and then you're like, your body says you're going to die, and you don't, and then you go have a pretzel with horrible cheese on it.
Right. Yeah, cheese it's actually the enemy of my life. I have a dairy allergy, which I will talk to you about later. But
I would love to hear that on my podcast about lactose intolerance.
It's not even lactose intolerance. It's literally just a dairy allergy. Like I can't have cheese, milk, yogurt, any of it. It's very sad.
If you were to have, I'm just trying to think, like, is it like a peanut allergy where if there's milk product in something?
Yeah, I will have a reaction to it. Yeah, it's been very hard to eat out lately.
Did this develop?
This developed in the last couple of years. Yeah. I don't know if people want to hear about my issues.
I feel like,
no,
now,
I know.
if you were to because my wife was allergic to fur, so dogs that didn't like a poodle, she was fine with, but like a golden retriever, she couldn't do. But I came home with a pug.
Oh.
And which sheds everywhere. And then she reacted for like 2 weeks, and then it got better. So I'm saying maybe just a huge slice of brie once a day. And maybe okay.
Yeah, I'll have to tell you what it's like, but it's a terrible sort of allergy. It's weird, but
a lot of Japanese food for you then, I guess.
Yes, for sure. Getting to the movie, getting back, I don't want to spoil it, but there are a lot of like physical action type scenes that you're involved in. Do you do your own stunts when it comes to these kinds of moments? Because I feel like you are physically in there, and also you can always tell there's a very tall person. I'm like, it has to be you.
Well, yeah, I mean, most of the time I do it, and unless they're like, "What are you, an idiot? You got to let a stuntman do this." And like, I wouldn't, they weren't too involved. Like on Community and whatever, I always wanted to do them, and because they were so much fun. But yeah, I mean, I like when Tom Cruise jumped across that building and just shattered his ankle. I'm like, oh yeah, that's why you have a stuntman do that. But whatever. He's Tom Cruise, but he's a superstar. But no, I love that stuff. The world of making movies is I love it. So I cannot believe I get to work in I can't believe I get to. There's a really good movie called Gods and Monsters about with Brendan Fraser and Ian McLendon. It's really, really, really great. And that's why, I mean, it's a lot of work but I love the work.
Yeah, no, you're great at it too. And also you're a very likable person. You have a magnetic chemistry with everyone. When working with Jane, what was it like bonding behind the scenes to what we actually get to see on film? Because it translates very well.
Well, there was we were shooting in this house, and there was just this one room in the house that we all sat in and chatted to each other. And there's a lot. I mean, her mom was there the whole time, and she's a delight. And Jane is really funny, and so it was just as far as bonding, it was just like shooting the shit each day, and then we went back to the motor inn, and some of if people were awake, and she also had the lion's share of lines and had to handle all these scenes. So she's so she had, she was extremely busy. And so I wouldn't, hey, you want to go out and have a couple beers and just hang out? No, I'm the star of a movie. I got to do shit. So and her mom was, again, a delight. And I was thinking about like being, because I didn't really get into the business till I was in my early 30s. And, she's like 20. And I was like, oh, I would have been I don't know what I would have been like if I was that young with that much responsibility. But yeah, she can handle it, and she does swimmingly.
Yeah. How old were you when you did Bill Nye? I just remembered that when you were doing the People's Court. It was really.
Oh my gosh, that is the fact that you even know that.
I had all Bill Nye episodes on tape, so it's funny that I actually remembered that you were on that episode.
That's amazing. I would have been 25.
Wow. Okay. Baby Joel McHale.
24. Right around in there. I was on a show called Almost Live in Seattle. And they're going way back. That is that before you were born. And so that, I got on that show when in 95. And that was a locally produced sketch comedy show that aired on Comedy Central. And it was on an NBC affiliate, but locally produced. So it was an anomaly, and I learned how to kind of relax on camera a bit.
Mm-hmm, a bit.
A while.
You've done great though. With this movie, I think you guys you really captured what like a Bedford Falls sort of town looks like. So you guys shot this in Vancouver, right? Or was this like a summer shoot or a winter shoot? Like, what was that like? Yeah.
Shot it in February, March, February, and it was which I can't remember the town. It was about an hour outside of Vancouver, and it looked very much like Mayberry and Bedford Falls, and it was freezing all the time, and it snowed a bit. And the good news about shooting in British Columbia is that if you need a night shoot, the sun goes down at 4 or 3:30 and doesn't come up until 8 in the morning. So you can go forever.
Yeah, that's Canada for you. You're part Canadian. You know what it's like, the weather.
I am. Look at this. You can see it. No, and I whenever someone says it shoots in Vancouver, I get excited because I love it up there, and the food is really good and the people are great. My mom's she's full Canadian, so I love it up there, and I love how. And I think it was Chris Carter of X-Files, the creator, who made that look, the trees and the water and the mist and the mountains made that a character. And I thought that was, so I think there was some, like with this movie, they, it obviously captured a small town America feel. But that's our director, who was great. And the same way that the movie First Blood with Sylvester Stallone, where they're like, what town is that? Is that in Oregon? No, that was I think that was shot outside of BC.
Yeah. I think so too. I should know more Canadian trivia. I really should. But this movie is so much fun, and I can't wait for audience to watch it on Shudder on AMC Plus this holiday. I do want to add, though, this is not the only Christmas movie you've done, and a lot of movies that people will be watching this season. There's also Merry Friggin' Christmas, which you did almost a decade ago now, and I would just like to talk a little bit about it because it is another Christmas movie. It is a great movie. What was it like working with Robin Williams?
They say don't ever meet your heroes because you'll be disappointed, and I could not disagree more with that, because he was a hero of mine and continues to be, and he was everything I could have ever hoped for, and he was just lovely. And when he died, I sat on a bench and cried, and he was just exactly what, he was just so wonderful. And his heart was so big, and he that was like, oh, this is why he's such a superstar, because he wears his heart fills up the screen. And so, and we just saw, I don't know how, I don't think the movie's the greatest movie of all time, but but just getting to spend time with him. And then I saw Lauren Graham last night, and it was such a wonderful little time to do a movie. And we talked about that. She's lovely. And so, anyway, I guess this would be my second Christmas movie. I haven't thought about that. Wow. Good. That's I think you might be 10 people that have seen that movie.
Yeah, well, my sister, so it's 11. What was something you loved about him, though, as a scene partner that also might have helped elevate your performance in a way that you couldn't have without him?
There's a scene where he and I are in the truck having a pretty big heart-to-heart, son-to-father talk. And I remember, we're supposed to be kind of pretty emotional. And I was like, I don't know how to do this, really. I'm not sure if I'm going to get there or how this is going to work. I was kind of nervous, and it's Robin Williams. And then I was just like, just listen to him and do the lines and listen to him. And then and then we got there and I was like, I can't believe this is happening. And we did it over and over again. And it was just a lovely, and he taught, I saw him just kind of like, he just has this direct line from his brain to his mouth to his heart. And that really just, I was like, it kind of opened up a side of me. I was like, right. It's just sitting there for us. So it was like a secret little planet and we got to be on it. And boy, I miss, he's just so great. And I'm friends with his daughter, Zelda, to this day. And she's lovely. And her sons are lovely. So I'm sad he's gone.
Yeah, full circle moment though for that. Mork and Mindy was actually one of the first sitcoms to ever parody It's a Wonderful Life, because before that the movie didn't have a lot of licensing. So I think it's really fun that it kind of went around, Joel. That you just kind of.
How the hell did you know that?
Because it was in a podcast I listened to called George Bailey Was Never Born. So podcasts are great. They're very helpful. They give you a lot of information.
How did you even know that podcast existed?
It's a miracle.
You need to run a studio. Good for you. Wow.
Oh yeah, I would be great at it, wouldn't I? Before I do let you go, it is the season of giving. And now that the strike is over, I think it's important that you give us an update about the Community movie.
Oh, yes. We just shot it. We just got it done. We shot it yesterday.
Great.
It only took a few hours. I couldn't believe it. It's
going to be amazing.
Well, we were shooting it last summer so I think as long as we can start getting all these schedules together, that it will probably be next summer. That is what that's what I hope for. And, it's everything everyone's in and we've signed the thing. We just need to make the time. And once I'm shooting Animal Control and Crime Scene Kitchen, and once that's done, then hopefully they'll move forward.
Great. So more animals, more cake we're going to be able to see.
More cake, more animals, more cake shaped as animals, but no cake eaten by animals because that sugar, it's no good.
Not good. Animal Control, that's coming back in March?
It's coming back in March. We're starting shooting next week in Vancouver, and very excited. And they picked us up for 2 seasons. So bless you, Fox. And then we'll shoot Crime Scene in between those seasons, so I'm thrilled. I love the cast, and I think I freaking love animals, so it all works out.
It does work out. Well, Joel, thank you so much for your time. It's a Wonderful Knife will be available on Shudder, on AMC Plus, and everywhere you rent movies on December 1st. So happy holidays to you and your family.
Thank you for having me again.
Of course.
Always good to see you.